¿Y qué pasó?
No sé, ¿se arregló?
Sí, te escucho.
Bueno, ahí mandó mensaje. ¿Qué mandó? ¿Abril? Sorry, I can't. Pero Abril está conectada. Es esta Edvir Mundo. Can I still get into the Zoom? Ah, bueno, ok.
Ok.
Bueno, había seis y ahora quedan tres. ¿Qué pasó? Bueno, ahí empezamos. Tengo un sueño, me desperté recién.
Hello, people. Hello, hello. Hello, Caro.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, hello, Mariale. I think it's
Hello.
hello, Abril, and
Hi.
hi, hello, and Lourdes. There. Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Hi, good afternoon. Hello, everybody. How are you? People are still joining us. Keep joining. We have a rather numerous group today, for our standards at least. And we hope it will be a rather talkative meeting. Hopefully, probably it will, um, because of because we know some of you. You have been with us for a while, and we know you like talking. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. And all of you are recurrent participants, or all of you have been with us before. So I believe no introductions are needed today, Diego. They all know
No,
us
no.
quite.
No, I'm trying to remember Lourdes. I don't know if I had a meeting with her.
Oh yes, Lourdes has been with us over our last, well, not the last one, but the previous one, I think. But anyway, you tell us, Lourdes. I think she's there.
I'm sorry. What's the question?
No, we were not asking anything. We were just wondering how many times you have been with us, and I think you've been with us
Uh,
twice.
just one.
Oh, just once.
No,
Well,
just
Yeah.
one with Hachiko, I believe. Yes.
oh yeah.
So this
Ah,
is my
right. Well,
second time.
yeah, I wasn't there. That's why.
Yes.
That
That's
All
why
right.
we don't recognize each other.
All right.
you
Yes. Well,
you
I'm going to
missed it.
introduce. Yes. I'm Diego. I'm a teacher of English, and well, I'm one of the two moderators here. Um, well, I think that we can start, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
I think we can. We still have two. Well, one of them said she's not going to make it because she had a health issue. We have somebody else should be here.
yeah.
Can't remember exactly who because oh yes, well, two of them, three
Yes.
of them. There are three people missing. Where are they? We have started.
Hello, Zole. I can see you now.
Hello.
Well, yes.
Oh yes.
Well, I think that we can start with the question. Well, Harry Potter. I think that's the fifth film.
It is.
And well, yes, in my opinion, I think it is one of the best. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, let's say, but because I haven't read the books, but well, I have watched the films. Well, in my opinion, this is one of the best films. I mean, of
Mm.
the entire saga. So I think it is. It's going to be a nice talk. Mhm.
Mm. Yes, I partially agree with you. I don't believe this is the best one. Actually, I prefer the previous one better, the fourth one, the one
Yes,
which
that's right.
Robert Pattinson gets killed. Probably that's why I like it. But this one is
Yeah,
good.
maybe.
This one is good too. I
Mhm.
like this one. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah, that
a
was
different style. It's like a rather melancholic or even sad movie at times with
mhm.
the colors it uses and with the events that happen in the story. I believe it might. it might be a bit sad at times, and that's why I like the movie, but it's one of those. It's one of those that is not up there for me, but that's just my opinion. How about the rest of you guys? Is it one of your favorite Harry Potter movies? I think it's a rather special movie in the Harry Potter saga. Lourdes.
Definitely not, because it's like the start of the end. And
Yeah.
you're right, Matthias. In this film, Harry is going through a lot, poor boy. So I liked the previous one when he was younger. No deaths, major deaths now in his teenage life. So this one is rather darker, and I prefer that the previous ones.
Yes, totally. It's like like you said, the beginning of this second half in which everything goes darker, more depressive, more oppressive, and we get to see the darkest characters of all, or probably the meanest characters of all, like in my opinion, is Dolores Umbridge. So it's one of those films in which the introduction of this character and some other elements, Luna Lovegood characters as well, in which you see, okay, it's taking a direction which is quite different from the beginning, in which we have little kids having adventures, running after little monsters or not so dangerous monsters, but now they're facing death all the time. So yeah, it's good, but it's definitely a bit shocking, deviating from that original style. All right, how about the rest of you? Is it your favorite? I thought Diego was going to say something. That's why I went silent.
No. I was expecting the same. Okay.
Well,
No.
actually, I haven't seen the previous movies.
Okay.
So I didn't understand many things.
Yes, of course.
What's the problem?
Yes, probably I want to. I will not able to add interesting things, but well, it was important to me because I have a preconcept of Harry Potter that I didn't like the saga is in English.
Yes, it's a saga.
Yeah, it's the saga. No.
And it surprised me gratefully. So I have to see the previous one, and so I didn't start by the beginning, but it's an
yeah. And apart from that, at the very beginning, I think it was quite apocalyptic. It reminded me of one of the Terminator's movies. It was very. I can imagine you kind of watching that for the first time without understanding what is going on there. So, well, yes, well. So you can see the previous ones. You
Yes.
will understand better. But yes, I think this is this is the kind of the beginning of the dark side of this whole saga or era, as Matthias is saying. And Solly, you wanted to say something.
Yes, that I think that I like this movie, but I prefer others, for example, but I like the thing that in this movie we can see how Harry is becoming not an adult, but is growing up. His first kiss, for example, It's so important, this part, I think, for Harry, because we can see that he's not a kid, just a kid anymore, you know, or a young teenager. He's growing up. He's starting to feel things for Joe, and well, whatever, you know. And but yes, I think that, and I agree that it is the beginning of the darkest of the saga, the beginning of the dark part, the serious death, for example. It's so shocking. For example, I have watched this movie many times, and the part of Sirius is still sad for me, you know, because despite I know what is going to happen, it's sad, because you can feel, you know,
You don't want it to happen.
Sorry?
Nobody wants it to happen. Nobody wants Sirius to die, I think.
Yes, it's like, well, maybe things change as now. And
This
I
time,
read the book. Yes, this time is different. I read the book. Well, of course, the book is, I think the books are better. It has so many details, but in the movies we can see these things, you know, and well, I like.
I think that Fukado, who started with this one, with the fifth entry to the saga, you have a lot ahead, but you have even much more behind you. And if you liked it, and if it actually changed your perception of the character without having watched the films before, I think you will be able to enjoy it. The ones in which they are little kids, you have four of them. Well, the fourth one is not, no, they're not kids. I mean, they're already teenagers. And the ones that are coming ahead are, well, if you like this one, they are on that tone, and they will be, well, even darker, and with more people dying, unfortunately. Yeah, but I think you will like them, Caro. And it is good from one side, you can see it as a positive thing that you haven't watched the previous one, because your view is going to be probably totally different as the ones that, they'll have. So it will be very valuable to have your opinion on different aspects, because you have nothing, you're not coming with anything from the previous films. So it should be interesting. Bless you. Very well. Mariale and Abril, how about you? Are you Harry Potter fans? Are you not? Did you like this particular movie, or is it one of your least favorite ones? Well, you tell us.
Well, I love the saga and the books. I read all of them as a teenager, of course. Sorry. My favorite is Prisoner of Azkaban, but I think it's because I started with that with my friends. They took me to the cinema. Okay, let's see Harry Potter. I haven't seen it, never. So I started with that, and then I started to read all the books and watch the movie after reading the books. Sorry for my voice.
Oh, okay.
It's a great starting point. Azkaban, it's it's great. It's great. I think everybody agrees that Azkaban is really, really good. It's one of those films and books that the majority of Harry Potter fans say, okay, this is one of the great ones. I mean, I don't think there is a bad Harry Potter movie, but there are, ones that are a little bit too dark, or something like that. Azkaban is really dark, and it's like a horror movie for children. It gave me that Goosebumps film idea, that the Goosebump feelings. I'm talking about the series Goosebumps, the old series. It felt like that at times, and I think it's great. So it's a great starting point, Marielle. You were bound to love it after starting with Azkaban. How about you, Abril? Are you a Potterhead or not?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
I remember when I read this book, the sixth one, and it was a point because I don't know if you have seen the book, but it has around 800 pages. So it's like a brick. And I
Yeah,
remember being a child and looking at that, and I was like, wow, a
it's
lot
going
of
to take a while.
commitment. Yes,
800 pages.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. It's like the
Wow,
Bible.
I think right, but is that the longest, the biggest?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it
And
was. I think it is. I haven't
And
read
the
all of
last
them,
and
one, and the last one.
and
and the
the last
last
Uh,
one
one
too.
too.
yes, the last one too. But you see, like the first one is like that, second
Yeah.
one, third one, and then you go to the sixth.
But you can stop reading.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We do
No.
I
that.
have read. I told you before in our previous Harry Potter meetings that I have read
Mm,
the first three books in a row, and they were wonderful. The point with the
yeah.
fourth book was that it became larger, the fourth one, and for being the newest one at that time, it was more expensive, so I couldn't afford it. I was reading them as they came out in 2000, 2001, 2002, and then when the fifth came by, it was like, okay, I'm done. I mean, I'm not going to be able to pay for that, and it looks really thick, so I'm done with Harry Potter. But I like J.K. Rowling style. She's special. Yeah, she's really good. She did create a wonderful universe, which we'll start discussing actually, because I don't want to take any longer chit chatting. Although I like these chit chats, but we have some questions to deal with, and we're going to start right away with that. With this fifth iteration of the saga, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, I selected this particular scene from the movie because I think it's great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remembered when I was designing the PowerPoint, well, the presentation, I remembered Te lo resumo así nomás video on Harry Potter, and when he spoke about this moment, he said these fights would be just this without the music. It was like, without the music, as how important the music is for these battles, in which you can see a red light and a green light, and that's basically it. But we know, because we have watched the movie, that it is so much more than that, in which we have the ultimate villain fighting our favorite Professor Dumbledore, who had a difficult time in this movie as well. Wit beyond measure is man's greatest treasure, is one of the lines that comes from the movie. I believe it was Dumbledore, the one who said it. I don't remember. I just found it and I thought it was cool to include it as a presentation of this movie. The fifth one, like we said before, and the first question actually dealt with our main characters, our protagonists, and how they dealt with both rebellion and resistance. How do they embody these two concepts, and what consequences do their actions bring about to the story? We see a major change in the school, Caro. Things had been quite, well, not quite orderly, but they were much more organized before. And in these moments, things starts, coming apart as they start becoming really, really disorganized. And the students, take part of these reorganization of their education, I think. So let's listen to you. How do they embody rebellion or resistance? And who actually?
I think Hermione is the expression of rebellion because she was so structured and
Yes.
she changed her mind because she couldn't understand how Umbridge could don't give them the chance to think for themselves. Actually, it's the part of the scenes when Ron says that, "Who are you?
Yes.
And what do you do? What you did with Hermione Granger?" Okay, I think she is one of the top of rebellion in this movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hermione goes from being the best student, the most, you know, um, the best student actually in class, become the leader of this resistance group. Yes, that's quite a change for her. Hello, how are you? I don't know who you are because you have no name there, so I don't know who other missing people are, the ones that were supposed to join us and still haven't. Yeah.
I'm Paulina, but
Oh,
I don't
hello,
know how to.
Paulina. Yes, how are you? How are you, Paulina? We were waiting for you. Welcome. We have just started with the questions. We were talking about, um, the general things before. So, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome. This is your first time, so I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
Very well. Paulina and the rest, rebellion and resistance. Marielle said that Hermione took a great part, a major role in this rebellion against Umbridge. Yes, probably. Yes, Voldemort is around, and everybody is talking about him. Well, actually, not talking about him at the beginning, but I feel Dolores is the biggest villain in this movie. And yes, Voldemort has this battle versus Dumbledore, and everybody's working for him. But I feel Dolores Umbridge is the biggest, the most menacing presence in the movie. I don't know about what you think. Um, and probably that's why Hermione decided to rebel and resist. Is she the only one? Is that the only thing that happened? That they reorganized themselves? You haven't done your
No, I
homework.
think that
Yeah.
she she encourages Harry to teach the kids, and he encourages kids to join them. So yes, as as you mentioned before, well, Hermione is indeed the image of rebellion.
Mm.
About resistance, we can see how teenagers resist to the rules of Umbridge, despite for example, Umbridge call them to speak, to join to the Inquisition. I don't remember.
Yes, definitely.
That name, and well, they still they keep practicing, how to defend, because it's like they think that, well, we are in danger and we don't know anything to defend us. So we have to, and it's so, I think it's very significant, how the group of teenagers keep practicing because they have a belief, and they have a concept that it's some things that are wrong in Umbridge, I don't know, decisions.
Yeah, exactly. Because they all of them, well, in general, they're very respectful of their teachers and their teachings. But at this point, Hermione goes like, "Well, come on, hold on. This is wrong. This is not teaching. Actually, they are not teaching us, or they are not allowing us to learn, which is the worst thing you can do as a teacher. I mean, to limit the access to knowledge. Yeah, she's also forbidding many things like kissing in public or those or dress code, you know, being tidy and everything. But these this prohibition of learning or of accessing to knowledge is the worst thing that Dolores is doing, and that's makes someone who has always taken pride of being the best student to stand up for herself and for everyone else, saying, "Okay, this is it. Let's teach ourselves. You know, let's do something. This cannot happen."
And also they are able to do it because they are together. So at the beginning, Harry is isolated because of the news and all that, and he is resistant to start this army. But when he sees that a lot of students have his back, he starts to enjoy it, and he says, "Okay, well, let's do it. I am not alone, and we can do this all together." So this feeling of the multitude, even though Dumbledore is not present, they are young people and they are lost in their minds. They still endure a lot and they still survive it because they are together. So Hermione starts, and then the feeling of community, of fighting together against something evil, is what helped them to go to the end. Because at the end, I like the final scene with the fireworks a lot, because it shows that they did it. They survived the end of the year. They survived the exams, and Umbridge is gone, but all because they were together. So this is something important in adolescence. The group of peers, it's very important. Without them, I don't know if Harry would be Harry Potter without his friends or without the rest of the students.
Right, and they needed to trust, because they needed to trust what Harry saw. And that's why, because they had to follow the truth. And that's why they did it together. And well, yes, I think I totally agree with you, Lourdes. I think that they needed to be together to stand against this professor, this Umbridge. So yes, I agree.
Very well. Yes, very well. Abril, Paulina, Caroline, anything else you would like to add? Lourdes has mentioned something very important that I had almost omitted. Yes, Harry was being neglected, was being completely ignored, and nobody really believed in him anymore. He was taken for a fraud, for a liar. So yes, he was alone. That's one of the things when I was saying at the beginning that I felt this was a more depressive film than the others. It's partially because of this feeling that the protagonist also has. He's alone. He's not having these fancy adventures anymore. He's not being the center of attention anymore. Or actually he is, but for that, because everybody hates him, or many of them distrust him by this time. So
I think it's because he haven't any news of the what was happening, and that's why he feels like alone. Particularly the first scene, he is alone in that park.
In the hammocks. He was. I think he was in the hammock. Yes, you're right. We haven't mentioned the role that what's the family's names? The Dudley, but by Dudley's families, because they were cutting him, from all this information. So they fed this feeling of isolation and abandonment from their friends. Yeah, it was really sad at the beginning. Caro, Pau, Abril, anything else you would like to add? Or shall we pass on to the next question? By the way, if we have time, excuse me, by the end of the second or third meeting, there is a possibility we might play a game. It depends on how long it takes us to go through the different questions. if we have the opportunity to play a game, you will need to have another device, another, phone or computer or tablet, whatever, to play. Like I said, in case we make it, but I'll let you know. Abril, yes.
Yes, I think that this idea of rebellion always is attached with Harry, because both in this book and this film, you can see that he doesn't have this naive perspective anymore. He is angry. He's really angry about what happened in the last film, and well, everything that he has been living up to this point. So I think that he needs this resistance from his friends to continue, because even if he is a bit angry with them, he has to fight Voldemort at the end. So yes,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's true. That's another difference. Harry felt in the previous films like, okay, this is happening to me. Well, I'm going to take it. It's not fair, but all right, let's carry on. Now he's pissed. He's pissed off, especially at the beginning. He doesn't like it. He doesn't take it as before. Probably being a teenager has to do with it. That teenage angst that we all feel at some point. But yeah, it could be because of many things. Caro, Pao, anything else you would like to add?
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay. All right. Caro also said no. So let's carry on to a following and second question, which deals with, well, Harry himself, the main character. There we see him on the left being a little child. First movie, Daniel Radcliffe actually got to star in. And well, what differences can we see between the younger Harry and this one? Yeah, this one is going to be difficult for Caro, because apart from speaking of physical differences, there is maybe not much she can say about it. But how has he evolved? We have kind of mentioned this when we said now he's angrier. He used to be like cooler before. Now he's angrier. What other differences have you spotted between the little Harry and this one?
Maybe he was more naive when he was younger. And now he wants to eat the world or the magician.
Definitely. He was definitely more naive, as all of them were, I suppose, at the beginning. But now he's like, well, all right, this is the real world. This is what I have to deal with. I'm going to deal with it, basically, because that's what he does. He's actually taken the bull by its horns, as you say. Yeah. Anything else?
And he and he asked for answers. He didn't want to take them as a child anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The chat when after the attack to Mr. Weasley, all of them were talking to each other, but not to them, and giving him explanation of what was happening.
Definitely, that respect that you expect to have as you grow up. I'm not a kid anymore. Do not treat me like a little child. I can take things if you explain them to me. Everything, all of those feelings we have that as adolescents, as I said before, that we usually don't say them. We don't verbalize them because we cannot, but we feel them. Like, all right, I'm not a child anymore. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me like that. Do not patronize me. What else? We have 1 minute and a half left. Then we will restart with the same link. Yes, Lucas.
Okay. What I like is that he hasn't grown up in the magical world, and he started to attend classes when he was 11. So even though he has been there for some years, he still has this sense of wonder when something magical happens. Apart from all the growth as a person, when the house appears with the Order of the Phoenix, and starts to appear between the other two houses, he's mesmerized by it, and I really like that he's still discovering things in a world that, and in a magical society that is falling apart. He still has the time or this sense of wonder about it.
Yeah, definitely something that we which he has because of, like you said, Lourdes, because of his lack of experience with the magical world. It's one of the last movies actually in which we get to see that that fascination for magical things. He